Alexis Nunes alongside the Sophie Lawson here because we've got some juicy draws to jump into right now, and that has to do with the UEFA Women's Champions League. I know there's a lot of eyes specifically on a certain Chelsea, given Emma Hayes announcing that this is her last season with them, but we'll get to that in a bit. We've had the quarterfinal draw. Sophie, I'm going to have you go through each fixture because we have Barcelona, Benfica against Lyon, Ajax against Chelsea, and Häcken against PSG. Which one, I suppose, stands out to you immediately?
It's tricky because we had unseeded versus seeded. I think if there's going to be any upset, one that maybe is speaking to me a bit is PSG Häcken, because we saw no one gave Häcken much of a chance
at all
in the group. So to be fair, no one gave much of any of the unseeded teams a chance. Häcken performed so well, and PSG's form has been a bit up and down. Yes, they've kind of hit a nice little curve, but there might maybe be an upset there.
So that's the upset one. Let's go now to Barcelona, of course. I mean, it is going to take an absolute miracle, with the most respect to Bran, but for anyone really and truly to unseat Barcelona from this competition. But Bran, what do you think, I guess, they could do or take out of this tie?
I think having played Lyon in their group and drawing with Lyon will give them the biggest confidence boost. But there's no reward in playing Barcelona. But I think not just Bran, but sort of all these teams who are new into the quarterfinals, there's no expectation on them. There might be pressure from themselves, but this is a chance to learn, to grow, to have fun on the pitch if they can, show a bit of themselves. It's tricky against Barcelona. They'll give it their best.
Tricky against Barcelona. I would say almost impossible. But of course, go out there. A little bit impossible. Benfica-Lyon, that one kind of stands out to me. I think that's a bit of a tasty tie. What do you think?
Again, Benfica are a team that had Barcelona in their group. Not just this season. They've got experience with playing the big teams. They've learned a lot over the last few seasons. Lyon, again, themselves a little bit wobbly. We saw them drop points to Bran. Not always the most convincing in the group stage. I think Benfica will really be licking their lips at that. But, 8-time champions, it's going to be a little tricky too.
It's going to be a little tricky. And then, of course, Ajax-Chelsea. How do you see that one?
I think Chelsea come in as the big favourites. Ajax's home record when they've played at the Johan Cruyff, they have won. They beat PSG. They beat Roma. They beat Bayern Munich. They feel good when they play at home. The players love it. They've got great fans behind them. But it's being better than Chelsea over two legs. And that's a big ask because we know Chelsea have been there. They've done it. They're used to it. It's going through the motions for Chelsea. Whereas Ajax, I think, you get to this stage and there's the pressure and we might start to see a little bit of the threads coming undone.
All right, well, we kind of have an idea then for which teams you see going through to the semi-final. And we do have the semi-final draw as well. And if you're a romantic like myself and you were hoping that in the final we would see the one that everyone wanted to see, which was Chelsea up against Barcelona, because, of course, Emma Hayes last season with Chelsea and Jonathan Giraldez as well with Barcelona. They're going on to new pastures after this. So one more final epic battle. But alas, that's not going to happen because chances are, based on the draw, they will meet in the semi-finals. And then in the other one, it'll either be Benfica, Lyon or Häcken against PSG. Let's start off with the big one, of course. Chelsea, Barcelona. This is a matchup worthy of the final. But the main thing is now, is this Emma Hayes and Chelsea ready to unseat Barcelona?
I think Chelsea will feel good about their chances. Again, we've seen that they've developed year on year. They ran Lyon really close last time. Before they actually get to the point of beating them, they've gotten a little bit more of a sense for Barcelona. I think they'll like their chances if you want to go to the romantic side of it. If you need to find that extra 10%, if you can, within yourselves. A little push for Emma Hayes from the players who love her so much. It might be enough, but it might just be about the football at the end of the day. And I think, based on the season so far, on the pitch, it's Barcelona.
Oh, that's probably not what Emma wanted to hear because we know that this is the one she definitely wants before she steps into the shoes of becoming the US Women's National Team coach. In the next semi-final then, like I said, it'd be Benfica, Lyon, Häcken, PSG. I'm assuming you're going to go for PSG as well as... I still feel that Benfica, Lyon could be a tricky one as well.
A little bit of a spicy. I think they could be a little
But you'll
spicy.
go with Lyon, of course.
I think, it's going to be a French derby. And we've seen that We've seen that a lot. I think fatigue is maybe but every year in the league, every year in the Coupe de France, they've played each other in the Champions League. PSG have had some upsets against Lyon in the Champions League. At the moment, they are seriously adrift in the league. They might be looking at the Champions League as their best chance of doing anything, or just upsetting a rival.
So that means the final for you, you're going for Barcelona, Lyon. That will be a star-studded final, that's for sure. But again, what can Lyon even do, even mentally, to prepare to try and unseat Barcelona?
Well, we've seen this final twice already.
Yeah.
And before the second time we ran it in Torino, the talk was all Barcelona, they're the queens of Europe, they're the darlings. And Lyon went, no. A little respect on our names, and they were the better team in Torino when they played each other. We saw a very different side of Lyon in that game, a lot more pragmatic, but they did what they needed to win and keep Barcelona at bay. So now it's about, can Barcelona beat Lyon in the final? Because now you've got a bit of a bogey team for the Catalans. They're going to back themselves. They're going to back their players. They know how to play, and they've grown so much with those losses. But if that is the final we get in Bilbao a few months down the line, if it is,
I'll take it.
It'll be a good one.
I'll take it. Like I said, that would be an absolutely star-studded final. Well, hoping that all the players are definitely fit and there are no major injuries for that one. Well, before we wrap things up with Sophie, Sophie's been writing about the Portuguese league, which I think, especially after the Women's Euros, lots of people started to delve into, because Portugal really impressed in that Women's Euros. You've been taking a deeper look there, and specifically as well with Benfica. So what can you tell us there, So?
I think you're not looking at one of the bigger leagues in Europe. But we've seen this Portuguese team qualify for the Euros, qualify for the World Cup, come within about that much of a post of knocking the US out of the World Cup. Benfica have now qualified first time ever for the knockouts in the Champions League. This is a league that is growing its games. It's not happening overnight, it's incremental, but the players are getting better, it's feeding into the national team. And Benfica in particular, they're learning so much every time they're on the pitch. They've found a style that they want to play in. They can kind of show that personality a little bit more, not always against Barcelona when they play them, although they did get a very good draw last time out. So it's about growth, and maybe sort of a league to keep in the back of the mind a little way down the line. Maybe not the next Liga FA. So I think maybe Serie A is there first. But definitely a growing league, a lot of really interesting young players coming out. And heading in to a tricky Champions League quarterfinal. Just have it on the radar. Portugal.
So that piece is already out. You can definitely have a look on it at ESPN.com. And then all of the Women's Champions League. Well, the next round, of course, kicks off in March. We cannot wait for it. Bring on March.